Hi everyone, and welcome to the Property Investors Network at property-investors.co.nz website. I would like to share with you, we have just launched within our Investors Toolkit area, we have launched our 10 years property analysis cash flow spreadsheet software, which is now available within the Investors Toolkit area. Any person and any site user who subscribe for free to our website could gain free access to those tools, which are very handy if you are purchasing or wanting to monitor the performance of your own investment property. So without further ado, let's go through the details for this great tool spreadsheet. As you can see here on the top, we have number of tabs. The red one, highlighted one, is the one which is currently in use, and there are various other tabs here, for example depreciation information, loan data tab, amortization tab, customized loan manager, and the most exciting tab which we have here once you provided all the information, the analysis tab. So let's start with the data entry tab. Before we go ahead, you are welcome to read those information here. All the blue text here explain to you exactly how to use the spreadsheet, and as you can see, all those pink cells here, those are data entry cells. Those are the cells which you should put the information about the property. For example, we will keep this simple. As you can see, deposit, we have used the property and we put 10% deposit, which is $10,000 for that property with a purchase price of $200,000. The property market value on purchase was $240,000, and as you can see, the purchase price below market value was 16.7%. Scroll down a little bit more, and you will see that the total purchase price sums up for $200,000. On the right hand side, the purchase cost, we have $650 solicitor conveyancing cost, and an option to put percentage for the stamp duty, for example. In New Zealand, there currently no stamp duty, so it's not applicable. We put 0, and the stamp duty cell is set to 0. Anytime, if you have a question or you're unsure about the cell information and what to do within that area, you can put the mouse cursor on the cell, and that will give you this text, white text box, which comes down below explaining about the inflation rate. So currently we put 4% inflation rate and capital growth rate of 5%. These information you will see later under the analysis tab will reflect the movement of the property value and the movement of the growth in maintenance cost and rent growth, which is indexed for inflation usually. So scroll down a little bit more, and you will see that we have the property expense section. Within this section, again for the purpose of this video, we will keep it simple. Rates $1,000, insurance $450, repairs and maintenance $1,000 for that purpose. Loan cost here, we'll keep that blank, but there is various options to fill in. Once you have a suitable property, you can take the time to read through the notes and to read through all the information and fill in all the information you have on hand. Property management fee, you can fill in 7%, 6%, or 10%, depending if you use one. And if you don't use one and you manage your property yourself, just put 0%, and that will calculate that. This is basically the yellow cells are cells which sums up the calculation. Only the pink cell are data entry cell for you to fill in. So as you can scroll a little bit down, you can see that rent income calculator, there is two sections. Section 1 is for residential property. For example, this particular property rent per week is $300 a week. Again, you see this white text box coming. Every time you stand the cursor on any cell, it will give you an explanation of the cell and clarify if you're uncertain about this particular cell. If you have annual vacancy of 2 weeks, if you want to say, for example, you got a fixed tenancy, or if you want to say 3 weeks vacancy, you will see that up here the number is changing when you change the number of vacancy rate. So on the right hand side we have section 2, which is for holiday homes only. For the purpose of this video, we will not cover this, but some vendors or investors who invest in holiday homes will find this section very, very useful. A very important part here, which helps to calculate the cash flow and tax rebates through depreciation under the data entry tab, is the top property personal tax rate. It's very important, if you can or if you know, to ask your accountant to advise you. For this purpose, we have chosen 33%, which is the New Zealand trust tax rate. There's a lot of New Zealanders who owns investment properties held by family trust or any buy and hold trust, so we choose that, and I'll show you within the analysis tab why is it so important. So let's move on to the next tab, which is the depreciation tab. Once you click on the depreciation tab, you can see that it's highlighted in red. Again, here the depreciation calculator has all the explanation in the blue text. The first section is building depreciation. In New Zealand, currently, building depreciation percentage is set to 0. We are not claiming building depreciation on residential property investment, so we set that to 0. If you are in various other countries in the world, which you can claim 3 to 4% or more, you're welcome to put, and you can change that. Again, these pink cells are cells which you could enter the data. In section 2, this is the chattel depreciation calculator. Again, fill either section 1 or 2, not both. Enter 0 in the pink cells of the calculator that is not in use. So here we will use for the purpose of this video, we will use the quick check chattel calculator. Property purchase price is 200, and as you can see, the average rate of diminishing value depreciation the quick check use is 12%, and that will give you here the years claimable depreciation over time for 10 years. So this area here is the book value for your own knowledge. Section 2, it's the apportionate itemized chattel calculator. Those are the rates which provided by the Inland Revenue in New Zealand for each item within those categories. Once you have done a proper and full chattel valuation from a reputable chattel valuation like company or from any valuer, then you could enter the data here and use this section 2 in opposed to section 1, which is the quick calculation. This is more accurate. Section 2 is more accurate. At any time of the calculation, or when you use the software, you can save. You can click save on any tab, and that will save the information to your profile, to your investors, or to your site user profile, whichever it is, if you're a trader, or if you are an investor or seller, or a property professional. So let's move to the loan data tab, which is very important tab that has again 2 options. Option number 1 is principal of interest calculator, and option number 2 is interest only calculator. You need to use only one of those options. Let's start with the interest only calculator. Here you can see that the interest rates at the moment we've put in 6%, amount of loan, monthly repayment, and the annual repayment. This calculation of interest only will reflect in a better cash flow when you click on the analysis tab. We will show you later. Obviously, there is no portion of principal payment, and that's why a lot of investors are using interest-only mortgages. I prefer it personally, but this just depends on the strategy that you use. So, if we go to the principal and interest part, you can put here in the pink cells again. You can enter the beginning of the loan. So let's put, for example, I will show you the 5th May 28, and here you can see length of loan, for example. Oh, that's actually incorrect. This needs to be the day, so we can put 28 of May. That's the way to do it. For example, now we are in let's put it at 28th of July. And as you've seen before, the software is reacting for any error that you make, and this is the way to correct it. So we delete here the 6%. This will reset that, and we can go and annual interest rate here of 6% with term of loan, let's say 20 years, principal and interest loan, and you can see that the calculated payment is as such, together with interest rate paid overall the time of the 20 years, and all the information is here. Following to the principal and interest calculation, you can visit the amortization tab, which will give you a breakdown and detailed future and current starting from July first payment of the loan. So you can see all the payments are here, and the actual balance of the loan, and the scheduled payment, interest portion and principal portion together down month by month for 20 years. So as mentioned, this will change the pro forma cash flow in the analysis tab. Let's click that quickly, and I will just go straight to the area where it says pre-tax cash flow. As you see, although the rent is growing over time, here there is a negative gearing because there is a portion of principal which is payable together with the interest. It's always bigger payments in general. So if we go back to the loan data tab, and we want to see how would the property perform with interest only mortgage, we delete those two pink cells here, and we come back to here to the interest only calculator in section 2, and we put 6%, and now we can look. For example, there is no interest and principal payments, there's only interest payments, so the amortization tab will be clear. I will cover the customize your loan manager. This is just for your own details and information about yourself. Now we are going to have a look on the analysis tab, which is the very exciting tab and the most exciting tab of this software. This tab will show you the performance of the property over a 10 years period of time. As you can see, we have an option here to view the IRR, which is the internal rate of return, or the pre-tax equivalent. You can have the time and take the time to read through all the sales information if you're unsure about the sales and what exactly they are showing. So let's scroll down and have a look here. The property market value is growing over time, and this is influenced through the capital growth rate we put on the data tab. Here you will see the isolated equity growth, which is also influenced by the capital growth rate we've put. Underneath that you will see the rental growth here over time, which is influenced to the inflation rate that we put in the data tab. Underneath that there is the gross and net yield return on the property, which grows over time. Just have to run through it because the video is just about to finish. Cash deductions, again, the mortgage interest payment are the same here because it's an interest only loan. Principal payments are set to 0. If you have chosen the principal and interest loan, you will see the principal component here, and it will show through the whole period of time. Property expenses down here, pre-tax cash flow showing here, and you can see it's growing over time. This property is positive cash flow from day one. Building on depreciation set to 0. Chattel depreciation schedule is just there. And this is an interesting section here which reflects the tax refund or to pay according to your personal tax rate or your entity tax rate. That's why the important information to put it there. So you will see here underneath that after tax cash flow per year or after tax cash flow per week. At any time you can save this information spreadsheet to your profile and revisit it again. If you haven't signed up to our Investors Toolkit area as a site user, we encourage you to join our network, jump in, get involved. It's free to join our network. It's free to use all those amazing tools that we have available there. If you did join us, feel free to jump in to Investors Toolkit, crunch the numbers, and we wish you all successful investing. Cheers.